Lay siege to this place, brothers. Once we have destroyed this settlement, they shall always fear us, knowing they are not safe, even in their own homes. This will be a great victory.
Welcome back to the battlefield. We are kicking off things today with the last stand of the Arverni. We are assaulting their final settlement. The tattered remnants of their military forces are trying to hold out at the city of Nemesis, and we will not leave until they have been defeated. For this battle, they have a lot of slingers and hardly any cavalry. So the initial game plan is basically try and soak up some of the damage from their missile troops using our cheap, well, relatively cheap area of recruitment spearmen. And then just let our infantry win the grind-out fight. We have some reasonably high-tier infantry, and the more we can get them involved, the better. We also have tons and tons and tons of javelins, so I'm going to try and make use of those as well as I can. Also going to keep the keep the spearmen in our army near the cavalry so we can assist on the flanks if need be. I don't really think we will need to, but it's better to be prepared. These axemen have some pretty sweet character models. It's one of my favorite things about DEI, is all of the artwork that goes into the shields, the armor, the huge amount of variation that there is within each individual unit. Makes it a much more compelling mod to play, in my opinion. Alright, so we're up against, I believe they have 7 skirmisher units, and 5 of them are slingers. I think maybe 2 of them are archers. We only have 3 skirmisher units, so we are very badly outnumbered in that regard. However, we outrange them by quite a bit, so it's possible that we could get up there and try and skirmish them down a little. However, I don't really think that is the best course of action right off the bat. What I would rather do is get the dogs involved with their skirmishers. And you know what? Since the skirmishers are behind the front line, maybe sending my skirmishers up ahead of the rest of the army would be a good way to bait theirs forward. And if we can bait their skirmishers forward, then we can potentially open them up to a charge from the war dogs. Let me just go ahead and rearrange some of these units real quick so I feel a little more organized.
Ready for battle!
So we've got our spears in front to soak up the initial javelin volleys, the main brunt of the enemy charge, and the skirmisher fire, while the rest of our army will hopefully do the majority of the killing power. Alright, let's go ahead and move the slingers forward a little bit. I should move the dogs up with them. I am deploying one of my generals in the front lines, of cavalry, so I'm actually going to drop him back in the formation real quick. Alright, so let's see. Let's move forward a little bit further. Slingers won't quite be in range yet, but I think we might be close enough to trigger an enemy advance, and I'm hoping they will send their slingers forward first. Let's go ahead and let the slingers move up just a little bit more. We need to stay close enough to our troops that we can still retreat. So let's keep moving the army forward behind our missile units. Let's actually take our boys off of fire at will for a brief moment, as we're just now entering firing range. And surprisingly, the AI haven't immediately charged us. Let's give them a volley and see how they respond. If they don't respond, I might move forward with my skirmishers and try and take theirs out, but as I say that, they begin charging.
Our hidden units have been discovered.
Let's go ahead and have the slingers drop back immediately. And it looks like they might not get any of their skirmishers out in front. Okay, there's one unit that went out in front. The dogs are loose.
Our hidden units have been discovered.
As soon as the dogs are loose, we send the handlers back. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the foliage real quick. Alright, now let's get the slingers back behind the front line. Definitely need to make sure we get our charge bonus out here.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
But our front line doesn't necessarily need to get a charge. That said, it would still be helpful, so let's go ahead and just throw some charge orders out there. Let our boys get involved. They're going to get surrounded a little bit, but I'm okay with that.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
That unit will be gone shortly. Slingers, go to town. Alright, we need more bodies out on the right side. We're starting to get a little bit overwhelmed.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Start moving the front line forward again. Ooh, we're missing charge bonuses here. That's not good. Alright, let's get the sword masters working around this left flank.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Elite cavalry.
Okay, how's the front line doing? The front line looks like it's fine. We need to get our boys involved. Especially because they do have several phalanx units. Yeah, and our spears are routing almost immediately, but that's okay. I wasn't anticipating that they would get a lot done. Alright, sword masters keep working out and around the side. Let's bring this unit of spears out to take down their guys. Okay, we have slingers in the front line now, so it's time to get the spear wall in front of them. Need to get our cavalry more involved. And right there is a great start for it. Get these spears out and around behind. The cavalry is still moving. Alright, what happened down here? Our general got caught. That's bad. But he did slow down this unit of spears, so it will be a little bit helpful. Start sending the spearmen in. Where's my sword masters at? They are still maneuvering. Can send our High King back for some revenge real quick. Swordmasters, what I want the Swordmasters to do is target the enemy, what's it called? Target the enemy phalanx units. Totally fine taking some casualties on the front line.
The battle is turning in our favor.
Alright, we're starting to get around their flanks now, so this shouldn't last much longer. Okay, Swordmasters, get a charge. You have to get a charge. Ooh, they have a cav general, I didn't realize that. I assumed it was a melee general because it just stayed back for so long. Okay, some of my Swordmasters are struggling to maneuver a little bit. Let's send another unit of cav up here to help out. Alright, front line is going well in our favor. We've got a unit of spears that routed and returned. Our slingers are absolutely doing work. This is quite impressive. Alright, let's see the charge of the Swordmasters. They have 173 men. And in come the Swordmasters. On the charge, instantly getting a lot of kills, and then the enemy just pulls straight through our unit. That's cool. Alright, let's get the general to charge into the back of this phalanx. We have cleaned up one flank and are beginning to work on the next. Let's send our light cav out to deal with some of these routing units. Another Swordmaster charge into the rear of the phalanx. Let's pull the general back so he doesn't get killed here. Alright, well, a nice decisive victory. We did take quite a few casualties, particularly in our spear front line. But overall, I'm quite happy with that result. The Swordmasters were hardly involved at all, and they still managed to get 150 kills. I'm starting to think the War Dogs are definitely a bit of a cheat code. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. One of their phalanx units did manage to rack up 66 kills, which is quite a few for the AI. Typically, especially with barbarian factions, I am able to rout the enemy way before any of their units have time to rack up a lot of kills. I'm curious to see what the second army did, to see who was the kill leader in that army. Because my slingers, I was shocked at how fast my slingers were ripping through theirs. Alrighty. General did well. Swordmasters hardly fought at all and still almost managed to get 200 kills. The cavalry did quite well on that side. These axemen performed admirably. The ambushers, man, they're insane. I generally don't like light troops in my armies, but these ambushers have absolutely proved me wrong. They are a phenomenal unit on the flanks. Alrighty, and let's go ahead and raise that settlement. The Arverni have been crushed, and we no longer have to deal with the barbarian scum that they are. Alright, let's go ahead and merge up some of these units. I don't actually plan on keeping these spears very long, so I'm fine with merging them up. As far as recruitment, we obviously don't have any good options here. I actually should have looted that settlement, and I was planning on looting it this whole time, then forgot when it came down to it. That's okay. Alright, now what we have to do is plan our next move. So it is possible that we could betray our military ally and conquer them, move to the southwest, and take on the Vivisci barbarians over in Bertigala. But they look to be quite strong, and I suspect they don't have very many enemies besides our ally. Well, you know what? They are enemies with the Aravachi to the south. So maybe we could take them on, just to try and unify this province. I'm not sure what the best course of action will be. We could move to Octoduron, not Octoduron, and start fighting the Helvetii. They own nearly the entire province at Rhaetia at Noricum. So if we went to war with them, we could nearly unify that entire province. The danger of doing so is that it would open up a massive front line that borders 1, 2, potentially 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other factions. So doing that could be pretty dangerous in terms of front line, or maintaining a front line. What to do? Well, what I think I'm going to do is, instead of fighting, I'm going to try and have a few turns of peace to get my army composition sorted out, hopefully get some heavier cavalry recruited, things of that nature. We could also start recruiting more governors, which absolutely would be a good idea. Both of ours are currently still in the British Isles, and it would be nice to move them south. We could also expand the city of Camalodunum finally, so I'm actually going to do that first. I'd rather not make this a major recruitment base. Even though this is where the majority of our population is. But you know what? I do need to have the ability to recruit a full army back here, because eventually we will have to step out to Ireland and deal with these independent British remnants, or Britannic remnants rather, so that we can solidify control over the English Isles. Is it English or British Isles? Anyway, all of these islands up here. With the spy, let's go check out the Greeks to the south and see what they are up to. They have unified their province, so if that's all the territory they have, we could maybe have a quick war against them, wipe them out, and then go from there. I'm a little bit hesitant to let this army patrol, because I don't trust the Massalians to our south, and I would rather not get blindsided by a war declaration and an ambush. As far as public order goes, things look just great. We aren't taxing every province just yet, but we don't necessarily need to. We're still making a decent amount of money without boosting our taxes. Alright, so is there anywhere else we can spend our money? Let's look at loyalty. Loyalty is not great. I probably am going to need to switch over to at least a chiefdom, if not an empire eventually, depending on how long the campaign continues. Ooh, here's something important we could do. We can get Segovax, our son and heir, married, and dismiss his mistress. And we can probably make him the leader of an army. Alright, let's see. So this man is our governor, so we want to keep him in place. Where is this guy? Is he the one that just conquered? No, okay, he is over this relatively freshly recruited army. So let's replace him with Segovax, our son. Caledonian medium cav versus the noble cav. Which one? Obviously the noble cav is the better option. Alright, so we've got our son and heir put into an army, where he will begin gaining experience. Oh, and you know what? I should also give him some household members. So it looks like he will be working with primarily a sword-based army. So let's see if there's any household members that can help out with that. Let's just go with the Medicus for the replenishment rate. We won't need it right off the bat, but it will be useful down the line. And I did also see that we can get someone who improves our tax rate as well. Where was it? Right here, treasurer. Did we have a second treasurer? Okay, we do have another treasurer. We also have another son who has come of age, so we will promptly give him a mistress to start boosting his influence. It's very wholesome, I know. Interestingly, we can't assign any household members to Tinkamaros, even though we have household members available anyway. Alright, let's see. Would I rather have 10% research rate or an extra 4% taxes? Oh, you know what? We can swap it out for that. This was to give her influence per turn. That would perhaps be better suited in Segovax's household, but we will leave it as it is for now. Alright, I think I have spent way more than enough time on this turn, so let's go ahead and end it and move to the next. Yeah, so we have some options for a couple of, I would say, like medium-sized wars to our direct south and our southeast. We could also take on a small war, but a massive battle against the barbarians to our southwest, if we so desire. But during these couple of turns of regrouping, it is possible that someone will declare war on us and make the choice for us. I have the hiccups, so I'm trying to, like, not get that all over the recording. Anyway. Alright, let's see. So we have a couple more of these units of Gallic Swordsmen. Gallic Swordsmen? The green guys. So let's start switching them around. I think I want to put most of them into this army. You guys can go ahead and bring yours over as well. Alright, now, one Swordmaster per army is probably sufficient. Ooh, I also want to switch some of these Spearmen out as well. You know what? We'll just make the Will of Andraste be like 50% local levies and area of recruitment units. Right, so we can't quite give them that many, so we'll steal one of these units of Axemen and be on our merry way. Another advantage of doing this is this army now only takes our foreigner population to replenish for the current units that need replenishment, so they can start replenishing immediately, while our main armies still take a lot of other population. Alright, so another thing we can do is swap out one of these war dogs so that each army has one. And then I can also probably get rid of the baggage train. Alright, now both of these armies can run back to Gallia. Actually, they're in Gallia right now, but they can run back to settlements that we have held for a longer time, and they can start recruiting fresh troops to fill out their ranks. while we're here, we'll go ahead and pick up a couple of chosen spearmen to fill out this army a little bit more. We'll have a front line of 6 of them with a healthy amount of flanking units.
For the tribe.
Let's do this. Swap 2 of these axemen down to the Woad Warriors, and they can stay on the front line instead of retreating for recruitment. And then we can get some, hopefully some heavier cav and some skirmishers into the Horns of Camulos. Alright, so our armies are taken care of for this turn, I think. Spy, let's go have a gander and see what's going on down here. Alright, so the Massalians have consolidated their province. Hopefully, I doubt it'll work, but I'm hoping when I deploy this spy, we will see whatever faction has control of this settlement. Nah, it didn't work. That's alright. In any case, we'll go ahead and just steal some food. Alright, I have made my decision that I'm definitely not going east. I think I made that decision a long time ago. But let's try and make better friends with these Germans. We could join their war against the Boii. Let's give that a go. We're not at war with anyone else right now. So, okay, well, if we try and join that war, it actually makes it less likely that they will accept any sort of alliance, so that's a bit frustrating, but what can you do? It's also time to recruit a fleet. And, ooh, that's expensive. Maybe it's not time to recruit a fleet. I was going to say recruit a fleet and get over here and try and start trading with this faction so we can hopefully pick up that copper resource and improve our proving grounds into the Hall of Champions so that we can start recruiting some artillery. Man, that boat is expensive. You know what? Let's just do it. I should pay a little bit more attention to who I am recruiting as this admiral, but whatever. It'll be alright. We're not going to keep him in for long. For now, just park there. We're not going to send him out with any guards. We'll just send him out by himself so that supplies don't affect him at all. And I would like to upgrade this, but obviously we don't have the money, so we will just move on. You know what? We can get the money. Wow, we actually can't get the money. That's disappointing. I thought for sure that would give us enough, but it doesn't, so let's go ahead and continue recruiting. How many units of these... Oh, you know... Oh, just kidding. I was just about to say they're not actually area of recruitment units, but they definitely are. I'm surprised at how many of these we seem to be able to recruit. I wonder if the game will tell us the limit. Okay, it doesn't tell me how many of these I can recruit. Can I find out from here? Doesn't look like it. Alright, anyway. I wonder if we can recruit 8 or if we can recruit 10. Because they're reasonably good. They're not particularly good, but they're reasonably good swordsmen. And they are very, very easy to replenish, so that makes them super valuable. Anyway, let's go to the next turn. Spent enough time messing around looking at simple things and not actually making any moves to advance our nation's interests. I'm hoping for several end turns in a row without anything happening. The more time the AI gives me to establish myself, the better, because then I can move in a very decisive fashion when I decide to declare war. If someone else declares war on me, then I'll have to scramble a little bit to play some defense. But if we can be the ones doing the war declaring, we can be a lot more decisive with it. Alright, the fishing village has been completed. We have picked up our new units. I will immediately be upgrading the gold mine. And we will keep this army in the settlement of Bibracte for now. What I'm hoping happens here is our ally moves forward and gets defeated. Yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to declare war on my ally. I'm not going to do it yet, but I am definitely going to do it. Alright, how much movement range do they have? They don't have enough movement range to affect my city at Nemesis yet, so I'm not going to bother trying to defend it. Let's go ahead and move back even further. We'll probably bring this army all the way out and around the north side. The Woad warriors are back to full strength, so they will help us in the front line. What I think I'm going to do is go after these two settlements and unify the province of Aquitania. And because we have parked on the bridge, we actually can't move forward any further, so let's get out of the way here. Bring our boys forward. May as well keep them close enough to be reinforced at Nemesis. You know what? Let's bring both armies forward. I suspect this army is not going to have very good movement range, so we need them forward if we're going to take on the Santones tribe. Now, it's still going to be several turns before we actually launch an attack, because obviously we don't want the major diplomatic penalty from declaring war on someone too quickly after having treaties with them. So we've got 6 turns apiece until we destroy that faction. Now, Massalia to our south, probably, oh, you know what, they might want trade. I'm going to hold off on making an offer of trade to them for now.
Greetings to you. I trust you.
The Irish still don't want anything to do with us, but that's okay. We'll leave them alone for the time being. And to keep focusing on public order and food and things of that nature. Our other provinces look to be stabilizing quite nicely. And we also need to be saving up some cash. So for now, I think things are taken care of. Alright. Next on the list is sending our fleet up and around to the north to try and discover the Rugos faction, because we can see them here, but they don't exist yet in our diplomacy screen, which is a little bit unfortunate because that's who we need to trade with. As soon as we can get trade with them, we can just disband this admiral and save ourselves 245 gold per turn. I also need to start getting the additional agents recruited, but we don't have the money for that just yet. And now all we have to do is hope that none of the factions to our south or east declare war on us while we are making preparations to unify the province of Aquitania under the Scottish flag. Unfortunately, their army retreated. It's not too big of a deal. We have more than enough force to take them down. Let's go ahead and recruit the governor in Gallia. The extra growth per turn would be great. Extra growth per turn still, and let's see, 4% tax rate minus construction cost and public order. Let's go with that instead. Faction destroyed. The Boii are gone already? That shocks me. What the heck happened to the Boii? Who took them out? I guess I can't really see who took them out. Interesting. Yeah, I think it would not be wise to get caught in an engagement in Rhaetia at Noricum. Just because it's too long, and since it's mountainous, it's difficult to get through it quickly. Yeah, it's not worth getting involved in a conflict there. It looks like the Helvetii actually are the ones who took out the Boii. That's a bit surprising to me. Let's see if these guys want non-aggression. They are still closed off to the concept. Alright, we will keep working our way around. I don't necessarily need this army at the front line immediately. Let's see how much population we have available here. Hardly any. But you know what? We have quite a bit available of this class. We just don't have any money to start recruiting them. And you know what? What we need is cavalry anyway. So we need to upgrade the stables here next. Let's go ahead and park right there. We need to send our spy back over this direction to get some information. We basically have all the information we need on these guys. I just want to see where that army goes. Alright, let's go ahead and move up to the border. Keep our armies close enough together that they can support each other in the event of an attack. And we'll keep them in this province for now so that we can manage public order. Speaking of managing public order, it was this province that I was not taxing. It looks like if we were to tax it, it'd be -7 public order. That put us down to only +1 per turn. And where it's still in the negative, I would rather continue boosting it quickly. So we'll go ahead and leave it untaxed, even though our income is suffering quite badly right now. Yep, I think that's all for this turn. We need to save up enough money that we can purchase the stables improvement. Let's see, we'll be at 4,200, and we need 4,300. It's unfortunate. Well, here's what we'll do. We will patrol, and that will give us a little bit extra. That should be enough to get us the stables at the beginning of next turn. As long as I remember to actually do that. It could be interesting, depending on how long I let this campaign go, it could be interesting to try and get into some wars with the Eastern or Greek factions. Just to see how our high attack barbarians perform against the high defense of the majority of Hellenic faction units. Alright, we're completing some more research. Let's keep sending our fleet on its merry way. We still have not... Oh, here we go. We have encountered a new faction. Hopefully they will want trade. Yes, they want trade. Let's see if we can get a decent chunk of change out of it as well. So not quite 5,000. I bet they'll pay 4. Alright, so 4 grand and the copper resource that we wanted. That means we can just disband that unit immediately. Let's get our spy. Interestingly, their army has decided to go hang out on the coast, perhaps in anticipation of an enemy incursion from that direction. Alright, well, now we have all the intel we need on them, so we can send our spy back. I would like to move in and start raiding soon, just to get the extra money, but we'll worry about that momentarily. For now, let's just focus on getting some improved cavalry. And while we have the money, we could also start recruiting our additional agents. Alright, so we don't have an agent there. We don't have an agent here. So, why don't we recruit a champion? That's not a champion. Here's the champions. Okay, the +1 zeal, -2 upkeep is pretty good. But I think discovering hidden agents and armies would be a little bit better, especially as we are taking on Iberians. We don't want to get ambushed down there. That's kind of the direction I'm planning on moving next, but we will see how that pans out. We don't quite have enough for a spy. We're only a whole entire, 43 gold short of recruiting a spy. I'd like to get a spy into this army to boost its movement range and help it keep up with the Woad warriors. How can we get a spy? Can we embezzle some funds anywhere? Character's in command. Character doesn't have enough cunning. Alright, so we're not going to have anyone with enough cunning to steal some money for us. Is there a way we can get some extra cunning? Yes, there is. Okay. We will get our High King's wife, Iberia, to increase her cunning, and she can start stealing money for us soon. We will also have the High King adopt this young lady so that we can continue growing the family tree and ensure that we have plenty of capable men available to lead armies. As far as research, I'm not overly concerned about any military technology at the moment. We don't have any reforms to research, and the better our economy is, the better we can field multiple armies. So let's start going further down the construction line and see where that takes us. Speaking of construction, what else can we do? Let's work more on public order in Gallia, and that is all of our money. So, we have made some good progress today. We have finally finished off the Arverni. We are making preparations to secure our territory and advance further to the southwest. Things are going quite smoothly. As always, I hope you guys enjoy. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.